What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Double A Hef here with another dose of the True Scope. So I know it's been a minute, but to be honest with y'all niggas, like I feel like lately every video that I try to upload to YouTube, the second it uploads, it's just automatically hit with a ban. Automatically hit with a ban. And I'm not gonna front. It's a little discouraging when you take out the time to get a talking point and you know figure out the message that you want to like ingrain in the context of whatever video I'm going to show. You put all that together, add all that stuff to it, edit the video, upload it just for it immediately to be freaking banned. Like, it's not even like, hey, I got a couple views in and then it got banned. It's like the second it's done uploading is banned. But anyway, I digress. I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'm gonna keep on churning out what's good for y'all and what's good for the soul. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm sure most of y'all out there, because I know a lot of y'all are tuned in to like the quote unquote conscious community, as what it may be called, or I don't know what people calling it nowadays, but whatever you want to call it. I'm sure that a lot of y'all on my channel are tuned in. So y'all probably are very familiar with this panel discussion that I'm about to be using as reference and as content for context, because there's a lot that was unpacked during this little back and forth between these two brothers and those two sisters over there. The one in the middle up top, that's Tammy Mack. She's like a moderator, but also she's a quote unquote liberal black woman. So we got to take that moderator term or moniker with a little grain of salt. But anyway, fellas, do me a favor. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is going to be maybe like a 4 or 5 part series, because the video itself is about 37 minutes on its own. So, and we're already 2.5 minutes through and I haven't even started yet. So I'm gonna press play and they're gonna start chopping it up, and then I'm gonna break it down.
Women who are on code, I know I'm married to one. I've been with the same woman for 20 years, so I can preach, I can walk what I preach when it comes down to this. We do have allies, and the ally is the black man, woman, and child. With this whole fight between black men and black women, it's like the women forgot about the kids. It's like it's this whole war going on, and it's like the kids be damned. You have people like Dr.
You jumped on me there, Dewan. You jumped on me. I don't even know how we got to the kids.
No, because we're all one. Black man, woman, and child.
Are you talking about the kids that black men abandon and publicly talk about how they don't?
She wasted no time to just come out and try to freaking put down quote unquote black men. And for y'all new to my channel, new to my page, or maybe just never seen any video I've ever done on that chick in the top right corner, that is none other than Miss Cynthia fake weave, big forehead G. And I'm gonna try to keep the ad hominems to a minimum here, but but it's just Cynthia G. She, if you don't know about her, just brothers, go check out any one of her videos, and you won't get that far into the video before it's like something ain't wrong with that chick. So anyway, let's get back to it.
I can't speak for your life, but all I know is my father's always been there for me. My wife's father's always been there for her. I'm there for my wife. My grandparents were there. I have married lineage. I can go back 400 years of marriages, so I don't know.
Be that other may is very well documented.
I was talking. When it comes down to it, there are some men that leave, and when we're going to talk about the men that leave, let's talk about a lot of men that leave because of how they were pushed out by people who were going around trying to get government benefits.
Well, look, Brother Dewan, I get where you're going with your rebut to Miss Cynthia G, but what I would do, and again, this is why they won't invite me on none of these panels. They won't invite me on none of these panels. And this is why. Because what you're doing, brother, you're going around, you're taking a long way home. The reason why these dudes are quote unquote abandoning their responsibilities, but the quote unquote black women won't call that. She'll say his kids or whatever, and also stuff. The reason why that's happening, and not all, obviously, definitely not all, right? But the majority of the cases, the ones that in which we are referring to, like the ones that they're referring to, the ones that I'm referring to, because obviously, as he said, he grew up in a two-parent household. His wife grew up in a two-parent household. I think sometimes the message gets lost that, every single goddamn quote-unquote black person came from a disenfranchised situation, and that's just not the case. Unfortunately, there are many that do. So that's who we're talking about. So to bring that all back in, if I were you, brother, what I would say to Miss Cynthia G is, hey, those quote unquote black men the quote unquote black men that you're saying are leaving the home and leaving their kids, those aren't quote unquote black men. Because last time I checked, the quote unquote black community has been has been led by the matriarch for over 50 years. Over 50 years. It's been a matriarch. So when you have these men growing up, not men, because that's my point, they're not men. When you have these boys growing up in this matriarchal situation where they have these overbearing mothers, right? And then little man, and all sort of stuff, and he can do nothing wrong, and whatever. Like, look, that's what you create. That's what you create. So we have to basically keep in mind the words that we're using. They say, black men. No, these niggas out here in the streets that's just leaving these babies at home with not even their wives, but the baby mama. That's my point. How many quote unquote black men, and I mean men, not these niggas out here, black quote unquote black males, are leaving their spouses with their kids? So when she says stuff like that, we need to talk about that number. And then she'll probably say something along the lines of, black men marry outside of the race and all yada, yada, yada. But, we're going to get more to that down the line. I don't want to, spoil the whole video. Let's just keep going.
Let's talk about that. If he's not there, let's talk about all these single family households that are there because somebody wanted a baby so they can get a check one day and didn't give a damn about who she had that baby with. 80% of the women having the sex with the same 20% of men. If you keep in that same loophole, you got to look in the mirror.
Well, I don't know.
Preach, brother. But you know what the thing is? Most men will get what you just said. And like, damn, all right, hey. That's some real factual, logical shit, right? But women their brain don't work like that, bro. and it is what it is. But their brain does not work like that. Because in his mind, I'm pretty sure in Dewan, look at his face. In his mind, it's like, that's a home run. But nah, brother. Nah. Especially not for the new age liberal, quote unquote, black woman. Oh, hell no, not for her. No. Nah. Logic? Nah, they will never let logic get in the way of a good time or a good argument for that matter.
Dewan, I mean, your points are well taken. I'm just confused on how we go from a war against black men to women having babies by different men. It's not adding up here. Dr. Umar, help me make the math.
Well, there's a couple things. Number one, we have to make sure that we conduct a systems analysis and an institutional assessment. Communities are made up of institutions or the lack thereof. Communities are governed by systems or the lack thereof. Let us be very clear about something. This fratricide, this black on black crime that so many of our brothers are engaging in, let us remember, Irish did the same thing. Italians did the same thing. European Jews did the same thing. And in the 1930s and 1940s, the United States government decided to upgrade them to white status. And in so doing...
All right, so look, before I let Umar continue, I'll just say this, because first of all, I'm pretty sure most of y'all watching this video that's been on my channel, y'all already know, I've made an abundance of videos regarding Umar Johnson, right? But again, I'm objective. It's not like, I'm out here, clout chasing, or I hate Umar, or no, it's not none of that. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Umar has a large base. And from my objective perspective, he does that base a great disservice, because to be honest with you, to a degree, I can look at some of the things that Umar says as fuel to what we have going on now, because he'll never say this, but Umar's he is a woman worshiper. That's what he is, and he's lustful and he's a woman worshiper. He'll never say it, and that's fine. I don't need a duck to walk up to me and tell me it's a duck. Once the nigga comes out the water and he starts quacking and I see his webbed feet, you know what I'm saying? Even before I see the webbed feet and I hear the quacks, I'm like, okay, that's a duck. That's a duck. I don't got to see the webbed feet. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to. I understand that is what it is. So, I say all to say this. In this video, I actually agree with many, 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 many of the things that Umar says. It just so happens that what he's saying right now, I disagree with, and I see it as a problem because although it is factual that there was infighting between obviously the Italians, the Irish, and all these other different groups, right? And just a quick reference or a quick context for that would be let's just talk about the Italians, the mafia, right? They're killing each other. They're killing each other. That's Italian on Italian crime, and for what? For racketeering and all that stuff, and the families and yada yada yada, right? But that's basically what it is. At the end of the day, if you really wanted to, you can draw parallels between the mafia and the Bloods and Crips and say, hey, it's kind of the same thing to some degree, right? And I think anyone would have a brain would have to acquiesce to that. But the difference is, and what Umar is saying is the difference is that the United States government or federal government stepped in and made those groups quote unquote white, and not us. Well, obviously we couldn't quote unquote be white, right? Obviously, but because the government did that, it left us at a disadvantage, and that's why we're still doing it. Well, and what I don't like about it is I don't care what the U.S. government did. If we can look and say, hey, they like Umar just saying himself, hey, they were doing the same thing. Then the government came in and changed it, but they didn't do anything for us, and that's why we still have it today. But that same, if you even would call it that same mode of thinking, should lead you to, well, hey, if we see that they aren't doing that anymore because the government intervened, then we don't have to continue doing it. Because what he's basically saying in a way is we need the U.S. government to come and help us. The U.S. government did this for them and didn't do nothing for us. And that is the animus that is kind of almost goddamn innate within a lot of quote unquote blacks, especially in the hood. We're just hey, I don't like white people, also stuff, and white's bad also. And again, hey, look, you can have your opinions on quote unquote white people, especially if they're your own personal experiences. But I'm not here to just throw down a large wet blanket. I think that you are better served when you use your brain, and not for nothing. If I see that a different group of people aren't doing what the hell I'm still doing, when we're all doing the same shit, what? I'm gonna keep doing this until the government comes and does something for me? No. You should be able to look and say, hey, we don't have to do this. One, we shouldn't have been doing this. And we don't have to do this. Unless you're doing it because you're waiting for the government, because you feel like you're old, because you believe that you are a victim. And that is my biggest issue with all of this crap, especially as it pertains to Umar Johnson. Now, again, we're going to play the video, and like I said, there's much more that he says, and this conversation gets blown up, and I love where it goes because it gives me way more content to discuss and break down with y'all. But what he's saying right now is like the crux of my issues with all that. That victimization shit. Oh, well, the white man, the federal government did this and this for them, but for us. So what, nigga? You gonna keep waiting around, keep killing your brothers, keep killing your sisters, keep killing your kin, till the white man comes and fucking civilize you? Like, how you sound? How do you sound, Umar? And again, this is why they would never have me on a panel with these motherfuckers. Because I reached out and they don't want none of it. They don't want none of it.
Gave the Italians control of the fire departments in the black community, gave the Irish control of the police departments in the black community, and gave the European Jewish immigrants control of the civil service municipal jobs that they still control in many city centers today. The point that I'm making, Tammy, is that America gave Southern European immigrants an economic stimulus package. Before they gave that economic stimulus package to Jews, Irish, and Italians, they were doing the exact same thing black men are doing today: selling drugs, breaking the law, running in gangs.
Well, so I have to stop you there, Umar, and I apologize, y'all. I'm gonna try to let the video play more or for longer stints, but I have to stop him there because he's speaking as if there's no such thing as the Irish mob, there's no such thing as the mob, the Italian mob. They still exist. They're still doing these things. They're still doing it. So your point is null and void, my man. Is null and void. The Irish mob is still alive and kicking. The Italian mafia is still alive and kicking. So you're saying it like, oh, they got the stimulus package, and now they put away the racketeering and they put away all that. And now they're all just working 9 to 5s and being firemen and police chiefs, and that's not the case. That's not the case. Now, overall, what he said, is that correct? Yeah, for the most part, yeah. They did get those jobs. They did get, as he would put it, that stimulus package. But again, they still have the mob. Why? Why? If you want to get to some solutions, why do they still have the mob? Because there's money to be made. And wherever there's money to be made, people are going to make it. No matter what color you are, no matter what background, ethnicity, quote unquote race, lineage, no matter what, no matter if you're a freaking middle school dropout, high school dropout, college dropout, or freaking doctorate, you're gonna make the money that's out there to be made.
One another, but the government intervened and aided them. The reason black male pathology is still going on 30, 40, 50 years later is there has been no resolution, there have been no solutions, and there have been no governmental intervention.
Well, no, actually, on the contrary, Umar, and on this point, I'm going to wrap up this part of the video. I'm going to call this part 1. But Umar, to address what the hell you just said, which is incorrect, is that he's saying that, actually, I'll have him say it, and then I'll just...
Government intervened and aided them. The reason black male pathology is still going on 30, 40, 50 years later is there has been no resolution, there have been no solutions, and there have been no governmental intervention.
Well, actually, no, that's the problem. The government has intervened too much in the quote-unquote black community and has given way too much quote-unquote power and quote-unquote liberty to the quote-unquote black woman. So actually, on the contrary, there's been way too much government intervention in regards to the quote-unquote black community. And what that has done is basically disenfranchise the quote-unquote black man, because although, most of us understand that a lot of these brothers out here that are having these babies and stuff, they aren't men, they're males or boys, whatever the hell you want to call them, but they have disenfranchised the real ones, like us, me, you, the fellas that are listening to this video. So no, Umar, that is incorrect, because those of us like-minded have existed now, have existed then, have existed in the times of the scriptures. The only issue is we've been drowned out, and now that the quote-unquote black woman has seized power, and look, anyone that's ever read, the 48 Laws of Power, or read, what I can't think of the goddamn name. Excuse my language, y'all, but I'm sorry. I'm drawing blanks. After I'm done with this series, I'll leave something in the description because there's a number of books actually. But and not only that, if you've listened to my videos, if you've been on my channel, you should understand that life is all about power. The quote unquote white man, aka the federal government, has given the quote unquote black woman power and authority over quote unquote black men. That's why when the cops respond to anything going on in quote unquote black communities, when they ring the doorbell or knock on the door, they say, "Hey, is the woman of the house available? Or can I speak to the woman of the home?" They don't ask for the man because they know he ain't there. And it goes through the woman, whether it's the mother or big mama. Okay? So again, with great power comes great responsibility. But obviously, quote unquote, black women, not all, but the majority, have not gotten that lesson or learned that lesson yet. So what ends up happening is that now we're at like a standstill where brothers are coming into understanding and saying, hey, we got to change this. But you think that the quote unquote black woman is just going to go from, I'm every woman and all that, and I'm a boss babe and black girl magic and all this stuff. And now I got to listen to this guy. What? No matter how smart he is or anything, I have to listen to this guy. And again, that's why the majority of them are fucking single and depressed as hell. And just battered. But anyway, you know what? I'm tuning into the next part of this video. We're going to keep it going. Peace.